Hello and welcome to Cornwall. My name's Andy Paramore. I'm originally from Yorkshire and moved down here about 14 years ago. I've been woodturning for about 5 or 6 years. I enjoy it. I don't get as much time to do it as I'd like to, but I also enjoy watching the YouTube videos, which is why I thought I'd have a go and put one out there. Today I'm hoping to make one of these little chaps, a little toadstool. This one's made out of spalted silver birch, and I'm going to make one out of a piece of yew that I purchased from Yandles in Somerset. So hopefully that will look quite nice, and without further ado, we'll go over to the lathe and make a start. Right, we're here at the lathe. First thing I want to do is just eye up the centre. I just use my finger as a guide to get a rough idea where the centre is, both ends. And then I've got this little punch, put it in between those lines, punches a little hole, get my drive, centre it on which is the bottom. I'm going to make that the bottom because I've got a bit of wax on this end. So I'm keeping this bark, so I want to make that the bottom. And I'll just give him, get my mallet, just give him a little tap. Feed that into the headstock. Bring up the tailstock, in the other hole, tighten him up. There we go. Make sure that it runs nice and free. Right, now I'll use the original to gain an idea of where everything is, something like that. Give me an idea. Right. I'm just going to round off. I want to keep that bark, so I'm going to round off from there back there and just get rid of the bark and then mark it out again. Speed up a bit. It's 1700. Whoop. that's the kind of width I want for that, which is the widest point. I'll just pop it on again and get another idea. So that line is this lip, and then we'll probably have that about there. So we'll take that down to that point about there. I'll go with a parting tool just down there to get a bit of depth. Again, and there. Right, now I'll shape the top up. See a bit of the brown heartwood coming through now, which is what I like about English Yew. Not sure what type of chisel this is, but I do find it quite handy when going into a nice tight corner like that. Saves me getting a catch on my gouge. let's have a little look at that. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, quite happy with that. So we'll leave that on until it's sanded up. So get rid of that out of the way a little bit. Start sanding. I'll start with a, what's this about? It's about an 80 grit, I think. Of course, don't forget to wear your mask and put your ventilation on, or your extractor rather. As I say, I watch a lot of the YouTube videos about wood turning. That's how I learnt what bits I do know. I started off watching Eddie Castellin making shavings and Carl Jacobson. And then on to Mike Walt. I think I must have watched every single video that Mike Walt's put out. And Martin Saban-Smith. And recently I've been watching Keith at 54A. Always entertaining. And RJB Woodturner, Bob. It's mostly pens, and I do a few pens. I enjoy doing them, but I haven't sold many. I usually give them away to family and friends, and the trouble is, after a while you build a few up, and if you're not selling them, buying the kits means that it's a little bit expensive every pen that you make, because they don't take long to make. And well, I like making the Sierra kits, and they're well, they're about £6 a piece, £6.50, and it probably only takes about half an hour to make them, so you can go through a few. I have a piece of leather. Sometimes when you're doing it, especially with the finer grades, it can get a bit hot. I just put a piece of leather behind it, and then I can give it a bit of force without it burning my fingers. That was, it went from to 120 and then 180. There we go. Finish off with a 320. Let's have a look at that. Oh, it's getting there. A few little scratches there. Right, now we'll move on to the wax. It's like a Yorkshire grit, but I made it myself with some I forget what they call it. Let's have a look. Diatomaceous earth and some beeswax. And mineral oil. I've never tried the real stuff. I think Yorkshire Grit, well, I don't know of any others, but I know the Yorkshire Grit's a well-known brand, and at Martin Saban Smith's. But this seems to work pretty good. Turn the speed up a bit. I don't recommend using a rag because it can get caught. Take the excess off. Now we'll go. This is the right way around. Clear paste wax, Maxminster. This is an Maxminster lathe, one of their little mini lathes. I like it because it's got the variable speed, and it's for this kind of project. It's nice. It's a nice size. I do have another Maxminster, the 1 meter one, but it's an old one, and it's well, seen a bit better days now, but it still does the job. I'd like to upgrade to one of their trade lathes, but not just yet, I'm afraid. So it might be quite nice. Have a look. Oh yeah. I do love English Yew. There you go. What I'll do now is part it off. And then I'll probably off camera, I'll just buff the very end. Right, I'm not very good with a skew chisel, which is why I don't use it much, but and for a penny. we'll leave it at that. I'll sand that off. Right, I'll just finish that top off and then we're done. Well, here it is. I've polished at the end and sanded and polished it, and a nice little project. It's mostly about the wood. English yew always looks nice, and not too long a project. Hope the video hasn't been too lengthy, but I wanted to show it in real time so that you could see just how long it takes to make something, and not missing out any of the steps or speeding through them. So it gives you a good idea what to do and how long it's going to take to do it. This is my first video that I'm putting out, so if you could like it, that'd be nice. Not too many of those if possible, and be kind with the comments, but constructive with any negatives, and subscribe if you'd like to as well. So from a sunny Cornwall, I'll say goodbye.